Cal, we're not streaming. The joke
Acting.
doesn't work.
It's acting.
Oh, darn, that's right.
I'd say we're not.
I
You
forgot
can't
about
be
that. We're not doing
seen.
video anymore. For those of you listening at home and not watching the video, I was talking but not talking. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Alignment Shift, where a bunch of us weirdos who don't really know what we're doing get together
That's
and
appropriate.
also don't know what we're doing. So I'm joined, however, by Peggy.
Hi.
I'm joined by Kayla.
Hi.
I'm joined by Steven.
At the hip.
I'm joined by AJ.
Ooh.
I want in on that.
There's room. He's got another one.
I'm joined by George
Picked last, like usual.
and Mackenzie, who is actually last.
Hello.
Yeah.
Coming up with original intros to all these is getting tedious after, what are we at, 2 years now? 1 year, 2 years?
Oh,
We're-
God.
We're at like 2.5.
2.5. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Anyway, so picking up where we left off. Our party is going through the trials of the 100 Herd, the ancient people that Glaive was once at the helm of. The entire populace had been destroyed in pretty much one night by some strange occurrence, little known to this day, even Glaive only having glimpses of strange blue demonic creatures moving through the snow, killing everyone, where he was also frozen. However, the party has been climbing the mountaintop to that his herd had been from, completing the challenges of his elder council. Tasks of either might or brain. The party members can choose to just battle their way up the mountain or kind of solve a riddle, usually some kind of test or challenge that is a moral story that encompasses what their position on the council was. A test of honor and knowing your opponent was the test for Oldores. A test of stealth was the test for Vale. A test of nature was the test for Elena. And a test of heart for Sapala. Leading to the final test, the test of the Arcanist of the 100 Herd by one Aether. As they approached the Wizard's Tower near the very top of the now dormant volcano, they saw a strewn battlefield of revenant corpses, their chests pried open, revealing an empty cavity where their heart had once been. Standing in the center of probably 20 or 30 of these corpses, they see not the usual spirit that the others had been, but a kind of conglomeration of spirits and random decaying body parts and metal, a twisted, deformed aberration that is Aether. His voice, echoey and deep, had spoken with the group, kind of belittled the party a little bit, and eventually had Xavier follow alone to the tower. And as you walk toward this broken tower, this place is in absolute disarray. There are entire sides of it completely caved in on itself. Ice and snow has beaten this into little more than a memory of what used to be a quite impressive tower. As he comes to the main entryway, he reaches toward the doorway, where there is no doorway, Xavier. As you approach, it is just completely open to the interior of this castle, and you can even see like rubble and such inside. But Aether reaches out with a hand and clasps where a door handle would be. And as he pushes, a shimmering force opens, and you see inside a glowing hearth. Warm light coming from the inside, and he just kind of hobbles in on that one good leg and one poor leg, beckoning you inside from the cold. I assume you enter with no.
I follow. Don't want to be rude.
As you enter in, this is not what the exterior of the tower looked like. It is definitely not pristine. It is definitely not well kept, and it is certainly old. What once was bookshelves now line the walls are nothing but ashen tomes. Their pages so dusted and covered in soot and smoke that they appear to be ready to fall apart at the very seams. Even entire sections of the bookshelf have caved in upon themselves through dry rot in the wood, leaving just scattered, tattered pages upon the floor. However, there are numerous telescopes, abacuses. I cannot think of the word for those little orbiting planetarium things that wizards always have in their towers. But many solarium, thank you. Many solariums sitting out on tables made of brass and gold. And you, as he comes in, he reaches into his cloak and pulls out one of the hearts that the revenant that you had seen the revenants had been torn from their chest, and it's sitting in his hand. It boom, 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 continues to beat. He places it in the solarium and mutters a little incantation, and the heart seems to generate a little bit. The solarium begins to move on his own, and he picks it up as it's now glowing, presses it into his throat, and it seems to mold with his flesh. And you see, just like the flesh on his arm that is not spiritual and not real, but also this strange Frankenstein of parts, the heart forms into his throat. And he turns to you. That should make our conversation a little more intelligible.
I would say so.
He turns, hobbles over to one of the bookshelves, and begins looking at the tomes before eventually kind of seemingly realizing you are still standing there behind him. What do you want?
What do you mean by that?
You are a practitioner of the arcane arts. No one doesn't do it for a reason.
Well,
What is your reason?
my reason was, still is, to make life easier in the simplest sense.
Glaive always was the sentimental type. What do you fear?
I think a lot of people share this sentiment, but loss of friends, family.
Loss of self?
Could be another one, yes.
Glaive would bring me a sentimental wizard. Show me the best you can do.
I have prepared for this.
Is
Prestidigitation.
Mage hand.
Minor illusion.
Thaumaturgy.
magic.
Echoes.
Look, I can do a card trick.
I was gonna make that joke. You suck.
That would be great.
I could
He
do
does
it.
the little
Your
hand
card?
illusion. He does a little hand illusion where he moves his thumb all the way away.
Be like Paul Rudd and actually learn magic tricks to do it in the movie.
Yeah, that one, George. Yeah.
To stall and give Mackenzie time to think. Where are we?
You're all standing out in the cold outside the tower, about 500 feet away.
Oh well, this sucks. I'm setting up a camp.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I still have
I'm
my 7th
helping.
level spell slot for this exact occasion.
Oh.
Who
Oh.
wants to hang out inside of a nice warm temple?
Oh?
I do.
I mean, that sounds better than what I
How?
was about to
Warm
do.
is good.
So
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna pitch up a tent.
No. Temple of the Gods. Nice warm temple.
One of my, yes,
Ooh.
please.
yeah, sure. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to argue
Man,
with.
Stupid magic people do magic things.
I'm sorry, you can stay out here in the snow. I'm going inside. There's a fire.
No, I whispered that to Vale.
Okay. So, Glaive, you will
Most people
spend
who
the
do
next
magic things.
hour casting that spell.
I will? I didn't know that was an hour-long spell. I thought it was an action.
Nope, casting time 1 hour.
Well,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, well, set up the tent.
Fine, I
I-
will.
I will.
So, Glaive, you kneel down and begin casting the spell, and you all watch as the ground around Glaive begins to kind of vibrate a little bit, and you can see very slowly as he's sitting there, like the foundations of a rather large temple begin to kind of form themselves out of the side of the mountain, coming up out of the snow. But it is a very slow process. You
Wow,
all
he made it
with
sound like
his-
this was gonna be so quick.
Could we have started this when they were on their way?
It wasn't that long. And
Okay.
it took him like maybe a minute to walk to the temple. It's like 500 feet. It's not that far. Anyway, Xavier, your best.
Is there a time restriction?
I have been here for 1,000 years. Try me.
Will the next 12 hours suffice? Because I have pretty powerful magic that I can cast. But as you know, some magics take its time.
Time is not short, but my patience is.
No, you're right. You're right. Time isn't too much. Give me just a moment, and taking a minute, he will walk over to a no. Fuck.
You think he's gonna off himself, Glaive?
That's dark. And no.
Can take another look around.
Yeah.
Did it?
What are you looking for?
Actually, can make an Arcana check. Did he have something magical set up here to where he entered a different dimension
Make an Arcana check.
arbitrarily?
Dun dun dun.
Find familiar.
Thanks, Tiamat.
Beak does tricks.
Natural 20.
Nat 20.
30,
God.
35.
With your insanely highly tuned sense of Arcana, there's not an obvious. There's no runes on the floor, but there's something to you that stands out about this place. Different. Glancing at the solarium, glancing at the telescope, you even look at the star charts that he has on the table. You're able to discern that you have not stepped necessarily into a different dimension. You stepped into a different time. While still old, this facility that you are in is not 1,000 years old. Maybe closer to 500, maybe 600. That's hard to tell. But the best you can make out with a natural 20 in Arcana, you may have stepped into an area where time moves slower.
would love to show my best. And from getting a feel for the magic here, time doesn't move as fast as it does when we were outside. Can I get a guess to see? Is it like, does it move at like half speed or something like that, or
with a natural 20, you get the sense with a natural 20. I feel like I should just give you everything. You get the sense that with how powerful Aether is, he's potentially in control of the speed of time in here. There are some bookshelves that have not aged as much, and there are some bookshelves that have.
I know that you are, from stories I've been told by Glaive, that you are extremely powerful. I know how much time you have spent. There are still things that you want to do. So all that I ask is you may do whatever you have been working on while I finish my spell to show you my best.
Without a word, he turns to one of the bookshelves, and there's just a pile of dust in one of the corner, a rather large pile of dust. Almost looks like a book had been burned completely on the shelf. And he just reaches out, and as his hand touches the pile of dust, it coalesces into this impeccably thick spell tome. You're familiar with a wizard's tome. This one is one that has been collected for years and years, and there are pages just kind of hanging out of it, and just from the dust it appears in his hand. He turns, sits down on a chair, and just starts reading the book.
I will proceed to take the Spinels and Star Ruby and slowly crush them into a powder.
Okay.
To where there's about, because I think both of the all that together, I have to look the specifics, but I think there was a little over 2,000 gold piece worth. I will take roughly the 1,500 gold piece and begin casting Simulacrum.
Okay. And the casting time on that is 12 hours, right?
12 hours. After grinding that, I will run outside real quick, grab a giant pile of snow, and bring it in.
You're running outside for a moment?
Just for a moment, grabbing snow and.
Oh, there he goes.
All right. You said that was after you just ground it, or so before the casting time?
But before I was just grinding the gems because it has to be powder.
Okay.
Hey, how long is this gonna take? It's cold out here.
You guys outside look up as Xavier had just closed the door on the tower, and it immediately opens. He comes out, grabs snow, and immediately closes it. Like like there had been no time passed. The door just closed and reopened. He came out, grabbed the snow, and went back in.
What do you think he's doing in there?
I'm very
Snowman?
confused.
So after I get the pile, I will
Snowball fight.
put it.
Ooh.
I'll find a good spot and use some bit of my magic chalk and do some of the sigils around the almost pulled Matt Mercer there. Sigils around this pile of snow. I will.
Siggles?
I was watching a video today. This guy said sigils like 15 times. I was like,
I will take a dagger, clip off, some fingernails. Take a bit of my hair, throw it in. Reaching in my shirt, I will peel off a scale and throw it in the snow. And then, beginning to cast, I will scatter the ruby dust along the snow, and then begin to cast.
all right. So, and as you cast, Aether does not seem to move at all from the spot, just like staring at the book, flipping pages, not even looking up. And you're used to wizards with high concentration. He doesn't drink, doesn't eat, doesn't even seem to blink, just staring at this book he is reading. Let me see here. How long does the simulacrum last? I'm trying to see here.
Until it is spelled or it runs out of hit points.
Oh, okay. So it's Pumat, right? Basically.
Pumat, yeah.
All right.
Has half the original hit points. This form without any equipment. Otherwise, the illusion uses all the statistics of the creature it duplicates, except that it is a construct.
Okay. So as the spell completes, is it clothed?
No, it is not closed, but I will get out some spare clothes and give him clothes.
All right. So Xavier, as you complete the simulacrum, a perfect copy of yourself in the center of this wizard's tower eventually kind of molds up out of this puff of the ruby dust. It forms and accumulates into your shape, eventually solidifying, and the hair grows. The hair grows. The hair grows. At that point, Aether glances up from the book for the first time in 12 hours, which at this point, Glaive's spell completes. And the temple has arisen from the dirt, so you are all able to go inside and hang out inside a temple. It glances up from the book and then just goes back down to the reading, turns the page.
I'll start putting the tents away.
Yeah, same.
He looks back. He looks back down. Is that what you said? Aether looks back down.
Yep, he looked back down on his book. Just turn the page.
All right. Obviously, I will give him clothes.
Oh, were you done?
This is one of the most powerful spells. I have it in my arsenal.
Takes the book, dust flies from the pages, puts it back on the shelf, and with his hand still on it, it just bursts into flames on the bookshelf as he walks over towards you. Begins to walk in a circle around the simulacrum of yourself. How does the simulacrum respond?
He will follow and just kind of if he's doing the whole the tailors make sure sort of
Size.
deal. He'll just kind of he'll look at him if he's in his view and just he'll kind of just look around, let him be studied, basically. I have that prepared. Yes.
This is the best a court wizard has to offer in this age.
At the moment, yes. But with more time and more years of study, I might be able to get close to how powerful you might be.
He's just a baby.
There was a time when entire castles were risen in day by court wizards. I have crushed an entire army with but a stroke of my hand, and you can mold clay.
Well, technically it was snow, but yes. But I have done some very impressive feats myself. With a single flourish of my dagger, I took out a lich.
Now that is interesting.
Shut up,
How
George.
did you deal with its phylactery?
I did not deal with its phylactery myself.
Then you did not kill the lich. An interesting topic to broach, however. Liches are of a particular interest to me. I asked you before what you fear. You fear loss. I fear change. I fear imprisonment. And if there is one thing that I have been my entire existence, it is imprisoned. I have traveled the plains. I have been sold at the slave markets by the Efreet. I have been to the Nine Hells. I have been under that oath you call glaive. I have been in bondage for over 1,000 years, and I will not have it anymore. So I have spent my afterlife trying to find a way out of this accursed bargain he tricked me into. As you see, I was unsuccessful with the revenants. While they do attain a form of afterlife that is not bound to a phylactery, they are, however, tied to their revenge. And without that, they only exist for about a year if I don't continue to resurrect them. But you have given me an idea. First, reaches back to the bookshelf, to the pile of soot that is the old book, pulls it out, and the book is once again in his hand, flips a couple of pages. I must see your ability to learn. Flips a couple pages, tears one
Alright.
out, and hands you just a page from the book.
I will take it.
The page he has handed you is the spell. I had it here, and then I turned the page. Where did it go?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Where did it come from? God, we don't have the rights to that. Make sure this is the one I wanted. What do I want? There was 2 spells I was looking at. Hold on one second. Yeah, let's go with that one. On the sheet, you see this just black sphere in the very center, and below it, a ton of runes in Draconic, which I know you read, right? Okay. The Draconic says Gravity Sinkhole.
Interesting.
And this is a spell that a wizard can learn. And he says, learn this. Handing you the page.
Alright.
That takes you, what, an hour, I think?
Depending on the level of the spell.
4th.
4th level? What type of school is it?
Evocation.
Evocation? It will take me 8 hours.
8 hours. He sits back down and begins reading the book.
I will learn the spell.
I think it's about this time we all go inside of the temple and we start unpacking our stuff.
Pretty much.
It's much warmer in here.
That
Start
takes
warming it up.
the cost is all that I have left of my ink and paper and whatnot. So
Actually, as you glance around the room, there is plenty of ink and paper also in this room as well that you could potentially ask him for.
I'll use my own. If need be, I'll ask.
Okay. Does anyone want to discuss anything or do any role playing while these 8 hours pass inside the temple, or inside the wizard's tower, which is more like 5 minutes in the temple?
I guess. What's inside this temple?
Yeah.
Inside of this temple is 2 long tables with stone chairs lining both sides. Loads upon loads of fresh fruits and vegetables. A large spit with a hog roasting over a fine cedar fire. And various cots in off rooms.
Okay, so there is a fire.
So, are we free to
Yes.
eat that food, or is that like an offering for the gods?
I mean, I made it. Go nuts.
Go ham. Go hog wild.
Paula
Oh,
gets a
Dolores has to
snack
wait
and then takes a
outside
nap.
now.
From the door, just because I have to say this, from the doorway, Taharn calls in, "You're a pig!"
Are we gonna let him in?
I'm surprised he hasn't already made his fucking mansion.
And I say, you're welcome to come in.
Thank you. Nice place.
I open up a house and other people are inviting people to my house. So Paula, is this how hospitality works? I don't think it is.
Okay,
Yes,
but
weird.
Paula said that he could come in, and I'm assuming we can listen to her. Like, if she says it's okay, you're gonna be fine with it.
I said no, and then I said yes because I felt bad.
If she says okay, you're going to be fine with it.
It's like a mom-dad thing.
That's funny.
But Mom said I can.
Pretty accurate.
Well, I have been whipped without my knowledge.
I'm pretty sure you
I
were.
think you're pretty
That's part of your
knowledgeable of it.
Yeah.
Do not worry. I am like a cheese. I only get riper with time.
Mm, mm.
You can also.
Hey, Glaze, do you know how long he's going to be?
Well, I do know that Aether has a very specific enchantment on that tower. He went in there once whenever I asked him to research an enemy. He said that it would take him a few days, and he was back to me in about an hour. He looked like he hadn't eaten anything. So, if I had to put two and two together, I would say that for us, he's not going to be long. But knowing Aether, Xavier's going to go through an endurance test.
Okay, because he went in there with some snow, so I'm not sure how seriously he's taking this.
Right? Like, my task kind of made me depressed. I don't know how serious he's taking this.
I have a quick question.
Quick answer.
Would the time be cut in half if both Xaviers worked on it?
Oh my god, are you
I'll allow
pulling a
it.
Naruto?
You'll allow it? Awesome.
I'll allow it.
That's
He's
dope.
pulling a Naruto.
Here, you copy that page. I'll copy this page.
Oh, okay. Because
I
how does
kinda-
that work?
I kind of worked out
Oh,
this, but can you help me work out
That kinda
this?
works.
I can see them
I
going
kind
up
of
to
like
each
this
other,
concept.
like meeting in the middle of the screen, going, Xavier? Xavier?
Xavier.
God, I want to burn
I
this
want two
tower down.
Sapalas.
And now I'm imagining them both, like the papers between them. They both go to lean over and like, dunk.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Okay,
Two
so
Xaviers and a tower.
Alright, well, I'm going to start reading a book.
Well, Doris starts eating some of the pastries that he bought, not sharing them with anybody. He's sitting in one of the stone chairs, and he has his feet up on the table.
no.
Yeah,
You look very comfortable there, Yildiris.
it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, I understand.
Take advantage when I can.
In the corner, you can hear Taharn starts playing on his lute. Toss a coin to your pale guard.
Paula gets a snack and then cuddles next to Glaive and takes a nap.
Clever, clever there, Taharn. Clever, clever.
Xavier's out like
Glaive
2
is-
minutes later.
Glaive is watching the tower intently.
All right. So, at that point, 4 hours have passed within the tower. Xavier, you have finished the spell Gravity Sinkhole. Do you need me to give you the stats for it, or do you have it pulled up?
Is that I've never heard of that one. Or is that?
Cool.
Or is that? Is that in a?
Graviturgy
It's
magic.
in Wildmount.
Okay, let me pull it up.
But for everyone else who doesn't have the book, I'll read it aloud here. It's a cast in time 1 action, range 120 feet, instantaneous. A 20-foot radius sphere of crushing force forms at a point you can see within range and tugs at creatures there. Each creature in the sphere must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 5d10 force damage, is pulled in a straight line toward the center of the sphere, ending in an unoccupied space as close to the center as possible, even if that space is in the air. On a successful save, half damage and isn't pulled. So basically, it just creates a giant gravity surge and everything goes.
Black hole.
You know, like you do.
Okay. I have this down.
Perform it.
I take a look around. Is there any...
Outside.
Okay. Stay here. I point at the simulacrum.
You stay here.
I will walk outside, and if I don't know if people are able to see me. Do I see the temple, or is it?
Yep.
Oh, Glaive was busy. All right. Have my book kind of float next to me like this, and I clasp my hands together and cast gravity sinkhole.
And all the snow and rocks in the area. I assume you're not doing it on the temple.
Oh no! Like I'll do it in like I kind of do it in the air so we're not too much is pulled.
Okay. So you do it up in the air. This black sphere just appears, and all the snow that's cascading from the sky you watch as it into the sphere. And at the end of the 6 seconds that the spell lasts for, it fades, and there's just this like really tightly packed snowball in the middle that into the ground afterward. Glaive, you see that happen just as you are watching the tower.
Did he follow me out, or?
No, I assume you did it from the doorway, right? Or did you go all the way out?
Okay, yeah.
He stands there. Not bad. You show an ability to learn, at the very least. Close the door, come back in. I must show you what I have seen, and I will give you the choice. I can show it to you, or I can show it to you. And he turns to your simulacrum. Either way, you will learn what I have been through, and you may choose.
I'll learn. And the main Xavier talks.
Xavier.
Pretty much.
This is going to hurt.
Now I wish I picked up False Life. All right.
Just boops you in the nose.
And other Xavier can cast the same spell as you can cast, right?
Yes, he has. He has everything that I have. So he has all my spell slots, everything.
Okay, so you are willing in this spell?
Yes.
All right. He holds out that crooked, decayed, claw-like hand towards you, and this very faint white light appears in the palm of his hand, almost impossibly bright. And then all of a sudden, your entire vision is just completely filled. One moment. I do not feel like rolling this. Chat, help me.
What do you want?
I got it.
Oh.
You take 33 points of psychic damage as all of a sudden from the palm of his hand, tens of hundreds of writhing purple tentacles emerge from that white dot in the very center of his hand, and they just envelop your entire vision. Each tentacle is covered in 33. Each tentacle is covered in eyes and teeth, hairs and barbs, and they writhe around your body. You can hear them screaming within your skull. This nonstop, constant, just roar of pain. And in the very same instant, gone. As if it had never been there. Just this breath hits you, the cold air from the inside. You lose your breath for a moment as reality just completely takes back hold of you.
I take a look around. Am I still in the tower?
Yep.
was that?
That is what I am doomed for, should you fail. Do you understand the gravity of my situation? I do not fear death. I fear eternal life in bondage.
What
So
exactly?
let's not fail. What was that?
What exactly do you need me to do?
First, what I'm about to tell you, well, honestly, I don't care, but you may never wish to tell it to Glaive.
All right.
Do you want my blessing?
Yes.
Glaive is a fool to have defeated me in combat and kept me as an ally. There was an attack on this place over 1,000 years ago, but it was not orchestrated from the outside. It was orchestrated from within this very tower. The demons that beset this mountainside were brought here by me to destroy him for taking my arm. Little did I know that the blood oath the 100 Herd had in place would also rend me from my physical form. And so I was trapped waiting for his champion to come and relieve me of my position. But I have an idea. I can control time in this tower and bring us back to the day that I caused the calamity. If I am not the one who brings about the demons to beset this mountainside, I will not be held to my bond. Because in order to create them, I used a very powerful artifact to sever the connection. If instead you go to summon those demons, not only will I grant you the boon, you will set forth into motion the very events that will lead you here today, and I will be free of this curse. Interested?
Give me but a moment.
Oh, and to sugar the pot, let me tell you of this artifact. I used this, and he reaches into one of the bookshelves and pulls out just a rusty-looking dagger. The handle is completely falling apart. There's no gilding on the handle. It's practically falling apart. Over 1,000 years ago, nations would have gone to war for this artifact, and I used its last charge. If you stop me, you shall have it. Render can sever anything. And what I mean by that, beyond just a simple knife, it can cut through anything you choose. At that time, it had but one charge left. You can cut a building in half. But beyond that, you could cut through the truth of someone telling a lie. You could sever the very fabric of reality and cut to another dimension. You could even, well, the possibilities are limited only by your imagination and the magic within the knife. Anything too strong, like trying to sever reality entirely, and it may backfire and just sever your reality.
This is a lot.
My dear boy, you think too selflessly. In the age of Arcanum, well, things were different.
Yeah, people have been studying it for many years. But why exactly do you want me to stop yourself in the past?
Because when I thought I severed my connection with Glaive's blood curse, I was incorrect. It only partially severed. And he holds up his blackened arm. Half of me is still bound to his curse, and half of me is free. I regret that choice. If you summon the ritual instead, I will never have done it. I will not have died on the battlefield, and can grant you my boon willingly.
I don't suppose current Glaive would be able to sever the rest of that curse.
Not on his life. He barely knows how it works.
If this dagger was so powerful it can cut most anything, was this curse one of those things that it cannot sever completely?
My wording was wrong. You must be very specific.
This is a trial for myself, so I want to be able to counsel with my companions.
You do not have it. The choice is yours alone, and I do not wish them meddling.
How... So even now you're still bound by that curse. But... want it to be completely severed even in the state it's in now, if I took the curse upon myself, or I took your place in his inner circle.
DM doesn't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
What if, because he was bound by this curse when he was defeated and made one of the inner circle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Almost think that if somebody is willing to take the curse and basically take his place, Won't that free him?
Yes, but I don't want to be a part of the curse anymore. I don't want to bestow it willingly. I want it to be on you from the beginning. You go back, I grant you the boon in the past. It is no longer on me at the time of Glaive's death. It is on you, and then you return to the future and already have it. If my spirit is released in this state, purple tentacles to the end of time. I have made too many deals over my life.
I appreciate all that you have taught me and shown me, but this is simply too big of a task for me.
Am I to understand you are not going to willingly do this?
Why did you summon the demons in the first place?
I did Glaive a favor. I slain an entire army in his name. And his response was to take my arm and force me into his blood ritual to be a member of his council until I am released of his curse. That was my payment for defeating his enemy.
He speaks of you as the only person who can beat him, or he fears.
Then he has grown wise.
From all the tales that I'm sorry. I simply cannot do this.
Then you do not have my blessing.
I'll vacate your tower. And he leaves.
All right. You turn and walk out. You grab the door and open it. And as you look out over the mountainside, you see a blazing active volcano around you. And that's where I'd like to take a little break.
Alrighty. We're back in. How long of a break?
10 minutes.
Alright, we'll be back.
And we're back, and no one knows what we're doing. We're confused. Babies were offered. I don't. So
They weren't really
Xavier.
offered, but okay.
As you
were sought after.
As you open the door, you are immediately confronted by a alternate landscape, similar to the one that you had come up on the mountainside. However, active lava flows run past the tower on which you were standing. However, the quiet, howling mountain air is not quiet. All around the mountainside, you can hear a chorus of screaming and clashing. And as you look down over the hill you had climbed up, you can see hundreds of those blue devils swarming around the tower, cutting down Goliaths in the on the edges of the lava flows. A massive battle on the edge of this mountainside. And as you stand still in the doorway of the tower, you hear from behind you, from what sounds like deep within the tower, below the ground, you hear a blood-curdling scream. And all around the tower, this electrical energy begins to crackle and fizzle in shocking waves up around the mountainside.
I haven't stepped out of the tower.
You have not.
Do I look back and still see the Aether I know?
You do. As you turn around, the tower, however, is in pristine condition. As you had seen it before, dilapidated from hundreds of years, the same Aether, arms still tattered and still partially spectral, is still standing there, this half-cocked smirk on his face. But the rest of the room looks brand new. You hear that shriek again, and it seems to be coming from the very floorboards of the tower, somewhere deep below.
So, you won't let me leave unless I do it.
I can't leave the tower.
Can you at least give me time to rest?
You don't have it. And the spectre fades.
Can I go investigate what that screaming is?
Okay, make an investigation check.
It's Kayla.
Seriously.
16.
16. Okay, he got a 16. Hang on, I gotta grab my note I had on that. Oh, I hate him. That's what AJ said. I hate him. Un momento, por favor. Got to find the right thing. One. Hold on. Hold the phone. Vamp, you idiots, vamp.
Bap, bap, bap.
I have way too many notes on here. There it is. Okay. What did you get on your investigation check?
16.
16. Okay, good enough. As you turn around the wizard's tower, noting most of the books in now pristine condition, the shelves no longer tattered by age, you see a corner of the bookshelf you hadn't noticed before is now ajar, seemingly pushed haphazardly away from the wall, and a slight kind of depression behind it. And as you go over and give the bookshelf a shove, there's a rather large doorway that cuts into the mountainside and begins into this spiral staircase down into the mountain.
This is where I'm hearing the scream from, or?
As you move the bookshelf, a small, almost childlike shriek comes up the stairwell.
Well, Xavier, I might need your help for this one.
You got it, Xavier.
We file our way downstairs.
Okay, don't need that map. Going to use this map. So, as the sound of the battle outside wanes and begins to be deafened as you enter the stairwell, I assume what?
I am giant.
Oh,
There's two of me now, so I'm just kidding.
yeah, let's pop that down.
I don't know why it's so big.
Because I'm terrible at scale. There's that. Let me just go like this. We'll hit this button. Oh no, that's not the right one. This one. There. That's your simulacrum.
All right.
Okay. Extending down into the darkness, you hear what sounds like machinery grinding, like this rhythmic as that shrieking kind of continues. It sporadically goes from a scream and every once in a while a whimper, like someone in a lot of pain.
All right, I will continue down. All the while, both of us will be looking around.
All right, and perception check on the stairs.
Can I give myself advantage?
You can give yourself advantage.
It's a natural 20. I got a 20 and a 19.
Nice. So, heading down the stairs, there are these strange vine-like protrusions that are coming out of the wall, very thick, like Sleeping Beauty, the thorn bushes that erupt around the tower. These moving vines come out of the wall and begin pulsing in the stairwell. There's almost this glowing red blood coming from them on the stairwell. Make me a Arcana check.
Advantage?
With advantage.
That's a 28.
28. Okay. Yes, that's what you see.
Do they look hostile at all?
They're definitely not, to your perception, they definitely look like pointy bushes that are moving. There's kind of like a strange warping to them. There's definitely something arcane and off about them that you just can't quite put your finger on.
All right, I will make my dancing lights and send them down the hallway, with one being, obviously the first, and then incrementally closer to me, so it lights up the hallway a little bit.
Okay. Let's.
I'll have one go by a vine, see if it does anything with the magic of it.
The vine seems to kind of shrink away from the light a bit. As the light gets closer, it seems to quiver and retreat back toward the wall.
All right, both of us will maneuver our way around them. So we don't. I'm not gonna move both of them in, but I'm obviously going like around like this.
Okay, make just a dexterity check to avoid the thorns.
All right, we're rolling both. 2 for both of them. No, that's 14 14 and 11, so it's 19 and 16.
Oh, okay, fine. As you walk by your simulacrum, one of the vines seems to swipe out toward his leg, and he just manages to back up a little bit in time and miss getting a gouge on the leg.
Okay. Is this one taking up the entire hallway? Or?
It is definitely taking up a large portion of the hallway. I hate having someone roll like checks every couple seconds for something I want them to see if they hear. very faintly, almost in the back of your head, not audible, almost even as you're familiar with it, almost something telepathic. You can hear what sounds like someone begging, a feminine voice, pleading in. Do you speak Giant or Goliath?
No.
Okay, you do not understand the language, so you just kind of hear this pleading sound. You can hear the tone of the voice. And a masculine voice kind of responding.
Do I say anything further down this way? As I've gotten closer.
As the lights have gone further down, you see a strange, almost. Oh, that's the wrong button. Goblin-like creature standing at the end of the hallway. Its flesh twisted and deformed. Its eyes glowing red in the dim light. Standing on the other side of the bush, kind of idly.
I take one of my daggers, flip it around, hand it to my simulacrum. Do the thing. And he will take the dagger and cast, using one of his spell slots, Steal and Strike, and will hit all the vines and the this goblinoid creature.
Okay. Roll the hits. And that's all the vines in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're counting each separate little glob there as a creature, as a separate creature. The first one, obviously, going from the way we came down to the goblinoid, will be last.
Okay.
So first one, that's a natural 16 plus 10, so 26. Right?
Okay, that'll hit.
Yeah, 26. Second one, even higher, 27.
That'll hit.
Third vine, that's even higher. That's 29.
That'll hit.
The last one, it's a 20, not natural.
And that'll hit.
All right, I'm just gonna hold a quick dice roller because I'm gonna roll it 3 times or 4 times. What am I looking at? I have this one right here. 60, 10. First, the vine takes 43 points of damage.
Okay.
The second one takes 26 points of damage.
Okay.
The last vine takes 24.
Okay.
And the goblinoid takes 30.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check again.
I won't say I have advantage because he's zipping around. That's a natural 20. 35.
35. Finally, I was hoping for something over 30. All right.
I just have a if I roll 15 or higher.
All right. So the Steal and Strike goes into effect. The barbed vines slash, and there's a spurt of almost blood across the walls as each one goes down. The goblinoid creature last holds up its spear, and for just the briefest moment, as you're staring at the goblinoid creature, there's almost a shimmer. And instead of seeing in that place a goblin, you see a medium-sized a medium-sized Goliath man just before the dagger impacts, and it reverts back into like a goblinoid form, like a mirage, and falls dead on the ground.
What did I see before it fell down?
just before the final Steelwind strike strikes the goblin-like creature, like the shimmer of a mirage, using your Arcana check at a natural 20, you almost see through an illusion, and instead of seeing a goblinoid creature, you see instead a medium-sized Goliath male holding a spear. And then as the Steelwind strikes, the mirage kind of back, and you see just a goblin and fall on the ground.
Do I notice anything behind him?
Like more shapes or anything, or what?
Like more hallway, another room, or?
Yes, it does. It does. I'm sorry. Let me. I can't reveal too much until you get up there, but yes, it does seem to continue on that direction.
All right. What does my simulacrum see? Because he stops up there.
Okay. Simulacrum sees another vine bush and another goblinoid creature in a room. In this room, it looks like it's being ransacked. The goblinoid creature is like tearing into the desk, like just tearing into it, and the vines are also like moving around the corner of the room and like slinking along the walls.
Say all but this new one here. All the vine bushes are gone, correct?
That you can see from where your simulacrum is standing. Yes.
All right. Well, I was mainly just worried about the one in front of me.
Oh yeah, I accidentally put the vines on the map layer, so I can't take them off.
Okay.
I mean, I can switch to map layer, I guess.
I'm just making sure. So I will. I'll get up here. I will reach out and touch my simulacrum's shoulder, and we'll cast Thunderstep.
Okay, where are we thunderstepping?
Here. And I'm say the vine was probably within 10 feet of me, so it makes her con save. If it can do saves. Because there is a damage association with the spell.
15 for the goblinoid, 19 for the vine.
Not the goblin. It wasn't within 10 feet of me.
Oh,
when I
so
teleported.
15 then for the vine.
Take 17 points of thunder damage.
The vine obliterates.
Alright, what do I see when I get here if I take a quick look around?
A ton more vines. Hold on. Why is my computer not working? Oh, because I have to actually click on the map. I can't do it off. There we go. A ton more vines seem to be clawing at like a doorway. There's a closed door, and the vines are like clawing and raking along the door frame. But as you come in, that goblinoid creature at the desk turns around.
As soon as he does, I hold out my hand and cast Sleep.
Okay. You have to roll for that, right? Or is
it's a I roll 5d10.
Okay, roll it.
It takes away from its hit points. I roll 21, so if its hit points are 21 or less, it falls asleep.
The goblin falls asleep in the corner.
Having both of us do a quick look around, avoiding the vines, do we find anything of major importance?
Make an investigation check.
All right, I'll roll. Do you just want to roll one with advantage or two separate ones?
Two separate.
Okay. So normal Xavier got a natural 20 for a 21. Or 29, sorry. And Simulacrum Xavier got a 19, so it's 28.
Okay, so high. So as you're looking around the room, you notice that there is a crystalline structure that forms along the upper corners of the room, all the way around, circling the room. And as you kind of glance at it, you can just barely make out a faint glow that these crystals are projecting an illusion.
If I take just like one of my ordinary daggers, am I able to throw it and possibly try to break the crystal?
You can certainly try.
I will make an attack.
Roll to hit.
That is a 17.
17. All right. So away in the corner, closer to the door where all the vines are clawing at the doorway, you throw your dagger and it hits the crystal on the wall. It shatters. And all of a sudden, like it had been there the entire time, the mirage in front of your eyes seems to go away. And instead of seeing vines clawing at the doorway, you instead see a group of teenage Goliaths frantically struggling at the door, trying to get it open, looking back at you with like terror in their eyes and like frantically trying to get away.
And I assume one of the goblinoid creatures was then the adult. They're both adult Goliaths.
Only one of the crystals broke, and it revealed the ones on the other end of the room. But you could make that decision or that conclusion that other crystals are controlling other parts of the room.
I have more daggers.
All right, so you spend some time and throw the daggers around the room and take care of all the daggers. And yes, as the vision clears in the room, the sleeping goblin in the corner is a warrior Goliath in like a medium plate. And as you glance up the hallway, a small trickle of blood comes down the stairs into the room that you're in.
I will... Don't tell me those vines on the stairs were also vines or kids.
Are you going to look?
Well, I'm looking now.
You at the moment, as you go toward the stairway, you still see vines on the stairs. However, there are also crystals that you hadn't noticed before in the ceiling of the walkway.
I'm not gonna mime this on the map too much, but Xavier just steps aside, gestures to them, and points, basically telling them to leave.
The Goliaths like back against the wall, like inch their way around the room, and as soon as their back is to the doorframe, they turn and just book it up the stairway.
Is this door locked that they were clawing at?
It does appear to be locked.
I take a water skin. Is there like a keyhole, or does it look like it's like magically locked, or?
There does appear to be a keyhole. It's a regular wooden door, brass handle with a eye-shaped hole for a key.
All right. For the next minute, or however long the door lasts, Xavier's hair statically stands on end, and blue electricity sparks around his body, and a straight stream of electricity arcs from his hand to the door, and he casts the witch bolt until the door vaporizes or it gets blown off the hinges or anything.
Oh yeah, first bolt as it hits, the witch bolt seems to hit the wood. It goes in, and then there's a secondary like detonation on the other side of the door frame. And as the witch bolt, the entire frame just shatters a little bit bigger than you expected it to.
What do I see beyond it?
Beyond it, man, I gotta get, yeah. Eek extends down into yet another room. Good lord, I sometimes hate Roll20.
We'll walk down. If you notice any more of those crystals, is immediately shattering them with firebolt, whatever it takes.
There's probably one crystal every 5 feet as you are moving through the hallway, so you're just walking down the stairs. As you're coming down, and as you round the corner at the very bottom, for a brief moment, you see a goblinoid in a room full of more vines. But as you immediately walk in and one of the crystals, the goblinoid and vines fade away, and you see a Goliath male with a spear pointed directly at you, and behind him, a number of civilian-looking Goliaths, like a blacksmith, a baker, no one military,
right?
All also huddled up against the back wall toward another door.
As he gets down there, he visibly still has these draconic-like features. His eyes are dragon-like. His hair is still partially standing on end, and he just, as he gets down, he stays clear of the stairs he came down, points and just says, "Leave."
They are like backed into the corner, and the one with the spear is just standing there holding it, like shaking toward you.
I don't know if you speak common. I don't speak your language, but I will not harm you. I still just gesture to leave.
They just stand there, still spear extended toward you. Make a insight check.
I almost rolled with advantage because of the daggers. I don't have those anymore.
And Xavier can't help you.
Oh, give me a second here. Natural 20, 21.
That's what, number 3?
It's like 4.
You need to calm down.
I'm sorry, these dice are really good.
You only get 3 per game.
With a natural 20, you're able to, in your mind, piece together the events that have led to this moment and understand that all the Goliaths you've run into here fled the battle outside as refuge. So the reason they're not moving is this is their bunker at this point, and their choice is hunker down here and fight whatever comes down those stairs or run out and die. And as far as they can tell, you're just another enemy who's telling them go out and die.
He takes some deep breaths. Do you understand me?
No visible reaction.
Do I remember where he said he was when he did this?
You mentioned you remember him saying something about below the tower.
Using prestidigitation to create sensory effects. I'm basically just trying to intimidate them and doing like a hand gesture of move away from the door.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
I don't know if I get advantage because of trying to do like the sensory effect of portraying.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Oh. Well, that's not.
I mean, yes, natural 20.
No, that's not really good. At least that's great. I don't think it's 17, 12.
The civilians in the back seem to kind of like and move away to the side, but the one with the spear, also seeing them move, like keeps his back to them and steps a bit to the side. You could plausibly walk by them, but there's the potential that that spearman could definitely reach you.
All right. But how, including the spearman, how many are there total?
4.
The other Xavier steps forward, choosing the area that they're all in, and casts his sleep.
Okay, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. They're all sponges, so they fall asleep.
I will go around them, go through the door.
Same witch bolt on the door, or are you just going through?
No, I will. I've calmed down a little bit at this point. I will attempt to pick them.
All right. Roll a your tool check.
That's a 25.
25. As you put the pick in the door, it forward. It wasn't even locked.
All right.
So you just keep walking forward. Make your way down the stairs, still destroying crystals as you go.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All the way down the stairs, making quite a noise as you continue on down. It's getting hotter. The deeper you're getting, it's just getting warmer and warmer and warmer. And as you come to this bottom portion here, you enter into a long hallway, and in the very middle of the hallway, there is a familiar book sitting placed gently in the very center of this hallway. It is Aether's spell tome, is just sitting upon the ground in the middle of this hallway.
Do I notice any more crystals as I'm down here? And don't know if you can remember.
The crystals do continue to line the room.
Pew, 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 pew.
They all shatter in the entire room.
I don't know if there's parts to reveal here.
There is, once I am not an idiot, and the book is here.
And the book didn't change.
The book did not change.
I don't really want to deal with this. I shoot a firebolt at the tome.
Oh, all right. The book goes up in flames and turns to ash.
All right. Keeping a lookout for any other possible traps. I'll make my way down the hallway here.
All right. As you come to the next set of stairs that lead down and down, 2 suits of armor are blocking the way forward.
I've been covered.
Oops, that's not. I hit reveal. That's not reveal, that's hide. There.
Oh, great.
Still sniping crystals as you make your way down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
But the suits do not change when the crystals nearby are shattered.
I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As you cast Detect Magic, there is a strong conjuration aura from them.
Yep. Yep.
As you cast the spell, the suits seem to stiffen up. Their eyes glow red and look down.
Have they tried to engage me yet or anything? Or?
Not yet. Not yet, they have not.
Let me see what this does.
All right, you're thinking too long. They sit up. One of them that was standing there, temporal anomaly detected.
Oh, I should move these. Oh, one sec. I'm just gonna move these. He's behind me.
Temporal anomaly detected. State intent.
My intent, I was sent by Aether, to stop whatever he is doing.
Deception check.
Deception? But
Deception.
okay. $15.
Truth detected. State destination.
The bottom of this tower.
State time of origin.
Time of. I'm just making sure where I'm from, because temporal anomaly. I'm guessing that's what he means. 1,000 years in the future.
Access granted. Temporal contingency activated. You may enter. And the 2 make very robotic sounds and to the side. As you pass and get a look at them, they are foreign to your design. You've seen animated armors before. These look more robotic.
Interesting. All right, I'm just waiting for more to get revealed.
You know, all right, well, now we can finally just do this. And since we know what's going on, you destroy the crystals on the way down, and this last final giant briar patch of thorns. As you destroy the crystals, there is a room full, or a hallway full of tied up elves. They are bound and gagged, and just kind of strewn about the hallway.
Are any of them conscious or?
Barely. Most of them look beaten within an inch of their life.
I will go up to the closest one. Do they have like armor on them or?
They are in rags.
Okay, Skyrim prisoners.
Yes, Skyrim prisoners.
I will go up to. I will go to the one that looks like they might know the most.
You approach a young, or not a young, an elven-looking young a man who's kind of sitting against the wall, his head kind of lolling back and forth, but he's the most conscious out of all of them, bound and gagged.
Taking what supplies I do have, like bandages and all that, I will try to make him better. Give him splash a little bit of water on his face or something, give him some to drink, just to try to wake him up more. And
make a medicine check.
What is that? Well, that's a natural 19. I think I have a +1. So, yeah, that's a 20.
Okay. He seems to be coming to a little bit. He's still very out of it. With your medicine check, he probably has a concussion, severely dehydrated. He looks famished, maybe even some blood loss, cracked ribs. It's really hard to tell. He ain't good.
In Elvish, I will say, where did you come from, and how did you get here?
In Elven response, the undead king will rise. The undead king shall have his revenge. The undead king is eternal.
Does it seem like I would get more out of him if I asked him more, or does it seem like he's a repeating NPC?
Brainwashed. He seems brainwashed.
Okay. I will. No, I will continue down.
Okay. All right. As you continue down, the doorway opens. We are off the map now. The doorway opens into a cavern, and in here it is surrounded by a lake of lava around a central platform. And in the very center of the platform, you see a large hammer sitting on a pedestal. But behind the pedestal, there is tied to a large metallic structure. You see what could only be described as a young elven boy. Very young. And he is tied, and his eyes are rolled into the back of his head. There are multiple wounds all across his entire body. And standing in front of him, you see Aether. His hands up toward the child. There is this like energy waving through him, between him and this child on the wheel.
It's not really going to work.
Come in.
I'll walk in a little bit.
As you walk in, Aether looks over his shoulder and sees you. You come at a fortuitous time. My arrival is nigh. You should kneel.
No. I've come as a messenger.
Messenger?
From you?
Mm.
Well...
A missive from the future king?
No.
Oh.
A message from someone who dies doing whatever you're doing now.
The whatever magic he was performing on the child just kind of sputters for a moment. Tell me more.
Well, I'm from a very long ways into the future, where you try to break your blood curse, try to get rid of Glaive and the 100 Herd. You don't exactly perform well. You're still bound in the future.
You see a visible, like, snarl form on his face.
But another reason why I'm here is to take your place in that with that curse.
Willingly.
Absolutely. Real quick, was I told what the name of that dagger was?
Render.
Render. Thank you. I figured you'd out. I just want to make sure. Yes. You try to use this ancient artifact to render your curse. It only works half as well as it should have.
He just stares at you. So you are from my future.
I am. Can't you not sense your own temporal magic? Or radiating from my body?
He looks at you he looks at you as you remember him looking at the simulacrum before. He kind of looks at you in the exact same way, sizing you both up and down. No. I'm so close. But I am not a fool. And I know when to listen. He seems to be studying you. You can tell he's trying to make up his mind, still looking at you. What did I ask you to do?
Sure. You asked me to take your place. When I got here, you would give me your boon, and I take your place with this curse. Instead of you being part of Glaive's inner circle, I take your place.
That means you die if he dies.
I know that.
Oh, but I'm clever. I'm expecting myself to send you back to the future. Looks down at the dagger. But it would cost this. To rend time. Again. Looks over at the boy. So much potential.
Do remember your fears. Because if you go through with what you're doing, you'll be partially free, but still in bondage. This is the only way you become truly free.
I like you.
What can I say? I'm a likable guy sometimes.
I must have sent you back for a reason. I will see you in 1,000 years. And he takes the dagger in his hand and slices the air with it, and it ripples open. And you see around you the same room through this hole, but no longer filled with lava. It is now cooled and dry. He reaches out to you with a hand. I grant you my position. You are now Arcanist to Glade. Be his sacrifice. The undead king commands it. And you feel this energy wash over you, kind of like just a wind right on by. Go.
So, just give me the scene one more time. What am I looking at?
Kind of like a riff in space, like where you can like walk through into the future. That he cut open with the knife.
We walk forward.
And look out for my gift. And as he says that, you step through the portal and it closed behind you. As you are standing in the center of this magma chamber, there is a small skeletal child on a large rack covered in dust. As you turn around, that hammer still on the pedestal, but on front of the pedestal you see a dusty cloth folding over something small and square on the table.
I will walk over and unwrap it.
Inside the wrapping, there is a small deck of cards. That someone to Xavier's impeccable arcanum check would be a deck of many things.
They're in a pouch, right? I will pick it up. Doing a quick, not drawing any cards or anything. Is it a full deck?
It is.
I will put it in my bag. Casting another detect magic. Do I notice anything about the hammer?
That hammer glows like the dawn.
Now, second question. Am I able to lift it?
You can certainly try.
I try.
You cannot. You come over to the hammer, and there's not even a give to it.
All right. The child skeleton is still hanging where it was, right?
It is.
All right. Using a bit of magic and ingenuity. Is it worked stone down here, or is it like
Is
dirt?
it what?
Is it worked stone, or is it just like dirt and shit?
It is worked stone and obsidian.
Okay. I will cut the child, the what remains down. Is it like just a full skeleton, or is it like mummified in any way, or?
Just full skeleton.
All right, I will. On a nearby cloth, if I find one, or I'll pull one out of my bag, I will wrap the skeleton up and I will bring it outside.
Bring it outside?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it outside. I'll walk back up the tower.
Okay. So, you walk back up through the tower, passing a couple more skeletons on the way by. You make your way back up through the tower, through the floorboard. There is no Aether in sight inside the tower. However, whereas before you were in a pocket dimension of some weird time, as you come up through the book to the bookcase that was exiting, you have to kind of and as you push over the bookcase that was blocking the entrance, it is completely gone. Everything here is completely disheveled. There is no abacus anymore. There is no solarium. Everything is destroyed.
Does it look like some of it might have been moved, like he moved somewhere else?
No,
No.
it doesn't look like it.
All right, I will. As soon as I'm able to get to like soil that I can, using magic and whatnot, dig up, I will bury the child's remains.
Glaive, after about 5 minutes of watching the tower, you see Xavier step out of the tower carrying a large sack that he then begins to two Xaviers step out of the tower and begin burying a sack in the mountainside.
Without a word, Glaive very, well, quietly in quotes, proceeds to Xavier. Are you okay?
Still thinking that out. As a quick question for the DM, am I within? Is that lower area from where we are right now? Is that within 500 feet?
No.
No. Okay. I think there's something that you need to see. Don't mind him. Hey, point.
Don't mind me.
I'm more worried about what you're burying.
It's just a child that should not have died the way he did. But I think I found something that only you can, or you would know more about.
Mackenzie, can Glaive see the body?
It's wrapped up.
Completely wrapped? Okay.
So, and just using a bit of magic, I was trying to move like the dirt enough to put it down, and I had buried it and assumed I was in like process of burying it.
Okay.
This way. I will lead him back down. I will have other Xavier kind of just stand there awkwardly. If anybody else sees him,
you're taking Glaive back down to the hammer?
Yes.
All right, that's where I'd like to end tonight's session. All right, so as Xavier walks up the steps back into the Wizard's Tower, that's where we will end tonight's session.
Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, that was stressful for Mackenzie.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well, all right.
That was fun.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Night.